Hello guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today I have another unboxing / tour for you, since I asked you guys on my Instagram if you wanted me to do a tour of this specific special thing I got that I ordered back in February. And you guys said yes, so we are going to go ahead and do a little unboxing tour of this, the Arcana Tarot. So, let me give you a little backstory on this. So, I am a huge nerd and fan of a little app game called the Arcana, and I have been playing it since the very beginning. If you've been following my channel for a little while, then you've seen that I've done a couple fan art pieces. I'm doing a fan art series of the characters from this game, and so I was playing it way back before there were even individual routes for the characters, before there was any of the extra, you know, like mini game things. Like, this was way back when they first started this game and they released it, and the company is Nyx Hydra. But I really love this game, clearly. And then when I saw that they were coming out and they were actually doing a official, you know, an actual physical copy of the tarot deck that is used throughout the whole entire game, the whole tarot is completely the basis for the entire game and for most of the characters, all the characters. So I had to go and be extra, you know, and purchase this deck. So we're gonna go ahead and do a tour, and then at the end I'll sort of give my overall thoughts, both coming from somebody who really loves the game, and coming also from the perspective of just somebody who likes to collect tarot, what I think about the price of it, since I do have a thing to say about that. But this tour has come at and I got this box right in time for the group Nyx Hydra actually just released the final ending chapters for the three main characters, Asra, Nadia, and Julian, and so their official stories have now ended. It's a little bittersweet, but the endings were good because I've been doing the upright endings. But there's definitely way more. They're already saying there's way more to come for the game, this specific one, and it sounds like they're gonna start working on some more games. So I'm definitely excited to see that, and I hope that they keep producing the same quality of game that they did for the Arcana. Again, I'll get more into that towards the end. So instead of me rambling on, let's get into looking at the deck itself. So simple, you know, little box kind of thing here that has the gilded on it. There is no guidebook that comes with this tarot, for those of you who are, like, you know, going from the traditional idea of reviewing sort of tarot decks. There is no guidebook, there is no fancy box. So again, I guess I'll just talk about it now. So in my opinion, if this were any other tarot deck, for the price of what the pre-order was for this and for what you get, it is definitely not comparable to other tarot decks of the same price range. Because this was, again, a bit extra. This was my early birthday present to myself. So it is a bit overpriced, I would say, for what it is. But on the flip side, as somebody who is a huge fan of this game and really supports the makers of the game, I have no regrets in paying the price, because the money is going to this group, and I really think they do such a fantastic job with the game, from the art to the writing to the programming, everything. They just do such a fantastic job, and I think they care about the fandom that they have built around this game, and I just hope that they just keep it all up. So I don't regret paying for it in that sense. But for anybody who is maybe a serious tarot collector and stuff, and you want the most bang for your buck, this is probably not the best tarot deck for that. And again, you don't get like a booklet or anything, which that's mainly because, I mean, it is totally based off the normal Rider-Waite deck, so if you know the meaning of that deck, then that's perfectly fine. And then if you play the actual physical game, they do like a weekly free reading, and then you can sort of see what they're putting for the meaning of the cards, but it's pretty much the same as the traditional Rider-Waite deck. So with that being said, let's look at the cards as I showed a little bit here. And this is a big part of why I wanted these, is they are so gilded, like just glitter gilded everywhere. So all the edges have this lovely gold shine to them. The backs of the cards also have the same shine, and then throughout all of the decks, there's usually a little bit of some gold in the pictures themselves. So let me zoom in a little bit here so we get a closer view. Oh boy, okay, there we go, fix the lighting. So starting off with the major arcana, we have Zero the Fool. So again, I'm going to be spoiling a little bit of like some minor things from the game just to explain sort of the imagery of the cards a little bit more. But the Fool card, the reason why, at least how I interpret it, the reason why they have this specific image the way it is really because throughout the whole entire game, you are the fool. Like, that, I believe, is for you, who is the one playing the game. That is what you represent, which makes complete utter sense. And so that's why this image is this way, because it's like you looking out at this new landscape and, of course, taking that leap and starting the journey. That's how I interpret this. Again, a lot of the imagery for these cards, especially when we get in the minor suit, is not too complicated. But that's just kind of the style of what the cards show in the game anyway. But next up, we of course have the Magician, which the Magician card in game is represented by the character Ciarra, which fits so perfectly. This character is, the Magician itself is just good. You gotta go play the game. Again, I'm not gonna spill too much of the tea, but just go play the game. Next up, of course, we have the High Priestess. In game, this is represented by Nadia, I believe. I'm not mistaken on that. It's definitely Nadia. But yes, we got nice little, the owl, sort of that mystical wisdom with the moon and stuff. Next up, we of course have the Empress, represented by this like bull character. A lot of these other characters, like every character, there's at least one character throughout the whole entire game that is represents one of the major arcana. And I cannot remember all of those characters off the top of my head, but I know there's people who have totally broken it down within the fandom and like laid it all out, who's who kind of represented. So that's the Empress. We have, of course, the Emperor. We have the Bull, so of course that nice sort of relationship between the two, showing that as the characters are. And then, of course, we have the Hierophant, which in-game, I can't remember the name of the character because there's like 4 characters whose names all start with V or something, and I can't remember all of them exactly straight, but we do know which character is represented by the Hierophant. This is also, because every chapter in the game, or I think for pretty much all the characters, every chapter in the game is represented by one of the major arcana cards. And so for Nadia's route, some of my favorite chapters come from sort of this Hierophant section of what's happening. That is really good. It's just funny. I definitely highly, that's my favorite part of Nadia's route so far. And then we have, of course, the Lovers. So if you play Asura's route, you know who exactly represents these two. Or the Lover's card in the major arcana. I can't remember their names. Don't hate me right now for those who know everything. I can't remember their names right now. I haven't learned everybody's name completely. Then we have the Chariot. Hopefully I do not mess any of these up. We have the Strength card. I don't know. I'm not sure who represents the Strength card in the game. I can't remember. Somebody correct me. So I want to say it might be Portia, but I'm not completely sure. But now of course we do have the Hermit, who is definitely one of my second most favorite characters in game, who is represented. He is represented by Muriel, who I can't wait. He's one of the upcoming characters that we are going to get more of the playable route to in game, so that's exciting. We have the Wheel of Fortune. We have the Wheel of Fortune, which I think is an interesting one. Then we have Judgment. We got the Judgment card here with the scales, of course. And now we get to my ultimate favorite character from game with the Hangman card. And the Hangman in game is represented by Julian, of course. If you watch one of my recent art videos, I talk a little bit more about Julian, and he is definitely represented by the Hangman card. And we get to see a lot of the Hangman. So every part of the game is that a lot of these characters that you see, especially for the major arcana, you actually do see in-game, like as the major arcana themselves. Next up we have is the Death card. An interesting one. And then we have Temperance. All that gilded gold. And then, of course, we have the Devil card. Anybody who has played the game, we know how we all feel about this card. But yes, we have the Devil card. And then we have the Tower. Now, speaking of in-game sort of chapters, this is definitely one of my favorite chapters for Julian's route, is the Tower route. Or the Tower chapter, excuse me. Lots of interesting things happen in that chapter for those. If you play Julian's route, you know what I'm talking about. And then, of course, we have the Star card, which we all love the Star card for us who are fans of the game. She is fabulous. And then we have these two cards coming up next, which of course is the Moon. And then we have the Sun. And I really, really like how they did these two cards because of sort of the mirrored image kind of thing going on, how they represent kind of like with the High Priestess and the Magician, kind of two halves of the same coin thing kind of going on. I like that a lot. Let's see, get this back in order. And then we have, let's see. Oh God. Oh, did I say the one card was Judgment? That was Judgment, and then there's, oh, I'm totally blanking on which one this is. Oh, I keep forgetting what this one is. It's Judgment, and then there's Judgment and Justice, right? Yeah, I think I confused the other card with Judgment and Justice. Those two always trip me up. And then our final of the Major Arcana. I'm still learning the Major Arcana and the Tarot. All completely in and out, guys, so don't hate me too much. But then we have the World, and I really, really like this card. I like the design that they did and with all the gilded going on here. But I think it's neat that they picked a turtle, kind of like the World turtle idea. Now we get into the minor suits. So these are, again, I said, like, the minor suits, they're not very complicated at all as far as the imagery goes. Of course, we have the Ace of Pentacles. We have the Two of Pentacles. We have the Three of Pentacles. Then we have the Four. I mean, if you know the Rider-Waite, like the Rider-Waite deck and the imagery, there is a little bit of that imagery hinted to in these. But again, I think this is definitely a deck that you need to know what most of these cards mean as far as that goes. And then, of course, we have the 5, the 6, the 7, the 8, 9 of Pentacles, and then finally the 10 of Pentacles. And now we have, this is where they get a little more creative with the Page of Pentacles. Throughout all of these, you'll see that, like, the Page, they did a good job, I think, with this, representing them as, like, these younger feeling characters, because that's what the Page is. It is sort of this more youthful feeling thing. And then for the Knights, they're all pretty fierce. As far as the Earth ones, of course, it's like a ferret, which they can be pretty crazy. And of course, we have the Queen, which is the badger here. I believe it's a wolverine or it's a badger, right? Or are they the same thing? I'm forgetting. And then the King of Pentacles is a rabbit. Now we get into the cups, like these beta fish design. It's the Ace, 2 cups, the 3 of cups, the 4 of cups, the 5 of cups. And I think also the colors kind of represent the mood of each card, I would say. We have the 6 of cups, the 7 of cups, the 8 of cups, the 9 of cups, and then we have the 10 of cups. This one's even more rainbowy and stuff because obviously with the 10 of cups we always have that rainbow imagery going on. And then we have the Page of Cups here, the Knight of Cups, which is like an eel, it looks like, kind of sea serpent creature. And then we have the Queen, who is an octopus, and then the King, which is represented by a shark. Next up we have the Aces with the air element, so we have that, or not the Aces, the swords, getting all confused here, which are represented by dragons. So we have the 2, of course the 3, classic sort of swords of the heart. We have the 4, the eye kind of closed. Again, I'm a little more, I think, out of the decks. I might be the most familiar with the sword ones. We got the 5 of swords, the 6 of swords, the 7 of swords, the 8 of swords, the 9 of swords with all the blades pointing in at the person. Again, that's a good one, because the 9 of swords is like that you're overcome with a bunch of worry and stress, and it's all kind of in this mental area. So all the swords kind of pointing there, and that's a good little detail like that. And then of course we have the 10 of swords with all the swords going in. Now we have the page. Then the knight. I really like that one. It gives me Sleeping Beauty kind of vibes. Then we have the queen. She's really pretty. And then of course the king with all the riches. And now we get into the ace, which I would say out of the minor arcana, this group is my favorite for one reason, and you guys will know, especially the fans of this game will definitely know when we see it, and I'll explain it when we get to it. But we got the ace of wands, we got the 2 of wands, the 3, the 4 of wands, we got the 5, 6, 7, so this rays coming out, sign of hope. And of course we got the 8 with the classic, sort of those sharp, pointing, quick action kind of wand energy. Then we have the 9 of wands. Then we have the, oh, can I grab it? Okay, 10 of wands. Now we have the page. We have the knight with the little rattlesnake. Yeah. And then we have the queen. Oh, we all love the queen one. So, for those who, of course, if you played the game, you know exactly why this card is so exciting, and that, like, honestly, because they picked snakes to do wands, they just had to do this card. Like, come on, let's be honest here. But for those who have not played the game and do not know, this is actually a character from the game. This is Faust. She is Asura's familiar, and she is best girl. And nobody would probably argue with that statement, because she is best girl. But we love Faust. Faust is adorable. And then the final card in our minor is, of course, the King of Wands, which is represented by, like, a king cobra. So that is exciting. So that is this tour of the official Arcana Tarot. Again, as I said, like, coming from the perspective of somebody who wants, like, the most bang for their buck, and comparing it to the price that they had for this for pre-order compared to other tarot decks, it is pretty excessive. Like, it's definitely on the overpriced side of things, but for, I think, anybody who sort of wants to splurge and loves the game, it's a great way, I think, of kind of pleasing the fans with having this physical deck, and then also just giving support to the creators of the game, you know? Like, I have no idea how much money they probably make off the game, because again, most of the money they do make off the game is through the in-app purchases, and we all know how most of us feel when it comes to in-app purchases in games. A lot of us don't do it. I'm right there with you. This is the only game I haven't done, and I have actually done the in-app purchase for, like, the in-game currency thing, so I can definitely feel you guys there. So this is just another way to show support, I think, for these creators. So I think they do a really good job with this game, and I'm definitely highly looking forward to see what they do next for the game, and also, you know, what they come out for in the future. Like, they definitely have a loyal fan in me, and that I will definitely go on to play any other game that they release, especially if it has a very similar, you know, quality of art, you know, just overall like the same level of quality as the Arcana game. If they do that and they match that quality in a completely new game that's completely different story or whatever they decide to do, then I'm there. I'm definitely continuing with that. Or if they even push it more, if they do an even better game, you know, even better quality stuff, then I'm like, yeah, you guys are killing it for sure. So I mean, they're not a huge company or anything, and I don't think the game is that really well known to most people. So I think this is a nice way to sort of branch out and show and sort of advertise this game maybe to a wider audience through maybe like a tarot deck again. So those are my thoughts on it. The overall quality of the cards, they're pretty standard, I would say. You know, I'm a little bit hesitant to like go crazy and use them too much because I don't want to ruin them. Because I mean, look at all the gold gilding; it's so pretty. And this is the first deck I've had that has, you know, the gilding on the edges. But they're easy to shuffle and use, so I'm not mad at the quality of them. I would say, again, compared to other tarot decks for the same price, you're definitely not getting as much stuff here, like a booklet or like a better box or all that kind of the extra bells and whistles. But the deck itself it's all right. Like it's definitely a good standard deck. So I'm gonna wrap up this little tour there. Again, thank you all so much for watching. If you would like to check out all my other videos, please do. You know, remember to leave a like, you know, comment on this video, subscribe, all that good stuff. All my other links are down in the description for like Instagram, all my other social medias, my Patreon, because I've released that now. So if you guys would like to get onto the train of exclusive sort of insight onto things, I've already posted stuff on there that is of artwork that will not be going public for quite a while. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this little tour, and I will see you in the next one. Have a great day, guys.